Hey guys, I'm Sean Lang, and thanks for purchasing this lesson. So this lesson is on speed and mobility around the kit. Now this is a topic that is definitely taken for granted among most drummers. We like to think that we can fly around the kit and play all these crazy patterns when we don't necessarily always practice getting around the kit and doing these patterns. You just try to play them in a song and see if you can do it. But really it's a little bit more deep than that. You're only going to be able to play patterns tightly and smoothly that you have played before. Now sometimes you can come up with some pretty good stuff on the fly, but it would be so much better if you were already used to moving in that sort of same pattern. Now when we talk about mobility, we're talking about literally moving around the kit, so not even necessarily playing a pattern, but moving around the kit. So things to think about when we're learning these patterns and when we're actually practicing speed and mobility around the kit is the actual, I guess, the actual route or path that your hands and your sticks take in order to get around the kit to play a certain pattern. You can always think of each stick as sort of a, I don't know, it's hard to say, like almost like you're the air traffic controller, and each stick is a different airplane. And so you're trying to make sure that they don't get in the way of each other and that they have a safe place to land. Because there's nothing worse than going through a fill and then at the end you're just going to triumphantly nail that crash, and it's just not where you thought it was, and you just end up throwing your stick here. Or a horrible one that I hate doing, but I do every now and then, is go for that last hard rim shot and you just nail your kneecap. And that's when maybe we haven't really been working on our mobility quite as well as we should. To give you an example, if you've got a pattern where, well, I'll just play a pattern for you right now. Very simple pattern, just single strokes, nice and easy. Now, let's isolate the right hand. Watch the right hand, don't even worry about the left. So we want to be paying attention to where it's going. So the left hand, it's making this little triangle. It's going from snare to high tom to floor tom. Now this seems very simple and sort of pointless at this speed, but when you're playing it really fast, you need to know exactly where it's going. Because there comes a time when it's moving so fast that you can't keep track of both sticks. So you need to be aware of that space and where that stick needs to go in order to make that pattern happen. Same with the left. Now this is a very simple example. We don't always play in neat little sections, and then we're crossing over, and that's when it gets even more crazy. But just to touch on it and not to talk too much about it. So I've compiled some exercises using simple rudiments. We start with the paradiddle, then we go to the double paradiddle, and then we go to the paradiddle-diddle. And these are just basic exercises, basic ideas for you to practice your speed and mobility. But the whole point of these is after you get used to these exercises I've given you, then you try to come up with new ones for yourself. And I'll try to touch on that in a little bit after the exercises, just because it'll make a little bit more sense then. with these exercises, I like to think of the snare drum as sort of the home base. So whenever you're hitting your singles and you're sort of accenting different parts in the kit, you're always coming back to the home base and doing your doubles. Now this really means that your doubles need to be tight, and this is actually a good way to exercise tightening your doubles. One thing you'll notice is it might be a little bit more difficult to get that nice tight double stroke when you're coming from, you know, a crash way over here, or someplace that you're uncomfortable with coming from. And so that means these are really great exercises to actually work on your double stroke and make it even stronger and tighter than it was before. So this is really a multi-layered set of exercises. You can get a lot of mileage out of it. I mean, not only that, but just think of how the whole point of this is mobility around the kit. You know, what you're really doing is teaching yourself thousands upon thousands of new fills just by exploring around the kit. Like I've played you a few different examples of just ways to do it, but I want you to come up with your own and just go nuts. I'm going to play a quick little demo of me just exploring the very first exercise around the kit, or just using the paradiddle just to show you kind of, you know, how I kind of explore around. Yeah, just take that and go with it, and I guarantee your fills are going to get much tighter, much more creative, and much faster if you start practicing exercises like this on a more regular basis.